Oh, here.
Yes. I need you to repeat dirty f***ing Muslims. They're being anti-Semitic. Assaulting a young girl. They're anti-Semitic. You are below it. You're a poor excuse for a human being. How dare you? I do not. How dare you? You're the one putting hands on women. Disgusting.
Dude, Ed Sheeran's fall off must be studied, bro. Ever since he said he's gonna stop doing music, he's just been crazy with it. Is that Jamie Oliver, the cook? No, it's Ed Sheeran.
I'm fully trained as an MMA fighter. You don't want to touch me. I'm an IDF. You don't want to touch me. I'm an IDF soldier. I don't give two flying fucks.
I'm an IDF soldier. Well, you don't know the type of CQC Krav Maga I'll use on you like you're a baby. In my mind, you're nothing but a Palestinian baby. If I close my eyes and imagine you as a Palestinian baby, then I'll defeat you. I'm an IDF soldier.
That's what you want to get him away. I'm an IDF soldier.
I'm an IDF soldier. I'm trained. I'm trained to fight women and children. All right. And if you're like a child, but also a female child, then it's even better.
IDF soldier.
What happened? What happened to the IDF soldier, though? I thought he was like a trained killer. The moment that like a man comes up, his attitude changes. It's crazy.
I don't know. How dare you? You're the one putting hands on women. Disgusting. I'm fully trained as an MMA fighter. You don't want to touch me. I'm an IDF. You don't want to touch me. I'm an IDF soldier. I don't give two flying.
Yeah, he's like, do you know you're my mortal enemy, a woman or a child? I'll fucking kill you. I'm an IDF soldier. It's a perfect counter. It doesn't show, but he ripped off a lady's hijab. Oh, I mean, yeah. This is many such cases, you know. Zionists think that like they can do Israel stuff outside of Israel, and you just kind of can't do that unless you're a cop, in which case, you know, if you're trained by the IDF especially, there's like double points for you. But like you can't really do that as a civilian in other places.
That's what you want to get him away. I'm an IDF soldier.
Shut up.
For real. IDF soldier.
Attitude changes when a man comes up because they're only trained to brutalize men using drone snipers and artillery. They're not trained in close quarters combat with men. Yeah. I'm an IDF soldier. I mean, remember, the thing starts off with like dirty fucking Muslims, he says. This man hurled Islamophobic abuse at a group of young Muslim women after he pulled the hijab off one of them. This incident reportedly took place at Whitechapel Station. I'm a IDF soldier. Nice, man. Nice. It's just like how do you feel comfortable behaving like this in public? It just doesn't make any sense. It really, I mean, I guess it's like, it basically shows, oh, he was arrested and he called the police anti-Semites.
Why haven't you arrested them?
To have this discussion.
Is anybody else in cuffs? Is anybody else in cuffs?
We're looking to have this discussion.
Is there anti-Semite?
We'll speak to you about this in the
You
police
all are
interview, okay?
anti-Semite. Why haven't you
That's awesome. It's just like, you don't get it. I was terrified. I saw Muslims in a hijab, yeah? I was terrified. What? What do you mean? I thought you were cops, right? You're supposed to protect me while I'm doing Islamophobic hate crimes, yeah? In it. The wilder thing is that Whitechapel's predominantly black and brown people, so you got to be really drunk to even think about this, which it seems like he was. Yeah, this is the guy that says Londonistan, unironically. London, it's got halal kebab shops everywhere now. It's Londonistan. I f***ing hate it. I'm an IDF soldier. I'm trying to do hate crimes in it. People are eating the kebabs and they're learning to sympathize with these Muslims, right? These fucking muzzies, mate. Fucking blimey, fucking hell. We got donor in every fucking corner. Stop it. So fascinating seeing this level of racism and anti-Semitic card being pulled right away in the wild. I mean, dude, it's just, you can't really, here's the thing, okay? You can't really, you can't really fault the dude for thinking, of course, that he can get away with doing this shit when like every form of institutional power is kind of allowing this shit to happen. You know what I mean? Of course he thinks he could do this. Because, like, why wouldn't he?
To our country, go home. And they're trying to bring Sharon law.
Listen, you.
And even the bread. Go grab me a King's meal. The King's meal says it's allowed.
Go back to Islam.
That's the King's bread.
Go
the King's
back
eating allowed
to
bread.
Islam.
It's out of order, I tell you. Bang right out of order.
Here, this is England, yeah? I don't want none of your Islam.
I don't.
Take
it back to Ramadan.
Yeah, go back to Ramadan. Yeah? What you... Oh, yeah, it's Ramadan. I love Ramadan. Well, go and live in Ramadan then, yeah? How about I build a mosque in Mecca? How about that? Yeah? How about that?
Build a mosque in Mecca. Nothing touches Islamic ray guns, though. It is wild that, like, things that were universally frowned upon, like the EDL guy talking about Islamic ray guns. You remember, that's like a classic. That's a classic. This is like a open your eyes for your children's sake, English Defense League. Like these guys basically kind of got packed up only to come back in like a more nefarious way where the average person says this kind of shit, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like how the do we go from like a relatively like EDL's the English Defense League, they're just Nazis, right? And obviously led by Tommy Robinson for quite a while, right? These were actually chinless Nazis, right? And they were trying to defend England, right? So what ended up happening, right, was these guys got packed up, yeah? Turns out though, they never went anywhere. They just kind of they broadened their horizons, mate. They did. Many people think like this now. Many such fucking cases. It's weird to see, like, you know, something that is, you know, roundly condemned, universally condemned, that was hyper specific Islamophobic Nazi attitude being reiterated by people who you would otherwise consider to be like liberals and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that guy. Something to consider, something to think about. A through line and a direct analogy, or a direct parallel rather, can also be seen in the Germany story that I didn't cover yesterday. As you guys know, just like the EDL, the German version of the EDL is the AfD. The AfD is a party that has become more active and become more popular, specifically in East Germany, unfortunately, as well. And a lot of this movement, which originally was looked at with or shunned by liberals, center-right liberals and center-left liberals, now, you know, regular old rich liberal Germans are repeating and channeling the exact same sentiment. I'm of course referencing the Sylt party. Don't you think England's under attack though? Yes, you're right. It's under attack by the top of the hour ad break. You're right. All the British are forced to see a 3-minute ad break. So here it is. A viral video in Germany shows people singing racist lyrics and performing Nazi salutes at a club in the northern island of Sylt. Chancellor Olaf Scholz has been called to comment while police investigate. Now, this is very illegal to do in Germany, for the record. I mean, this guy's literally doing the Hitler. Like, this is the literal Hitler. Like, he's Sig Heiling while pointing to his mustache. Like, that is the Hitler. This dance move is called doing the Hitler. These guests are at an exclusive club on the German island of Sylt. Each person is reported to have paid 150 euro for a ticket. When right-wing slogans or even the criminal acts such as the Hitler salute becomes a pop culture, there's a lot wrong in the country, says Johannes Wagner, the German MP for the Greens. With a Hitler mustache and champagne, and I thought it was such a phenomenon of the right-wing fringe. Apparently it's back in the fashion in the upper classes. It's disgusting. The club has distanced itself from the incident and is taking legal action. Local police have confirmed that an investigation has been launched, and the video has caused alarm throughout the governing coalition, with even the Chancellor expressing his concern, ja.
Solche Parolen sind eklig. Sie sind nicht akzeptabel.
Maybe some background. Sylt is basically like the Monaco of Germany, a place where all the rich people go for vacation and party. Yeah. Now, a lot of these people, like the reason why this is big news in Germany is because this has been bubbling up for quite some time. And yes, like working class Germans with reactionary perspectives that are like AfD voters now, they've been saying shit like this, and everyone in Germany has kind of like looked down at that sentiment. But now that you got the rich people in Germany saying it, the rich liberals who are not AfD voters usually, making light of the situation and making these sorts of jokes, now it's a big problem. Now they're starting to recognize that, like, hold on, maybe this anti-immigrant sentiment, anti-refugee Islamophobic sentiment is actually kind of running through parts of German society that previously would look down at such behavior.
Und darüber darf es kein Vertun geben. Und deshalb ist es auch richtig, dass all unsere Aktivitäten darauf gerichtet sind, genau zu verhindern, dass das eine Sache ist, die sich verbreitet.
Lemon has gained notoriety in the German far-right scene. Gary, no, thank you for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. One of the people who was there at the student was a student at my friend's university. They kicked her out, Lamau. Yeah. Germany thinks they fight anti-Semitism while growing both their Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. Our discourse shift here is the same as US, extreme, nonsensical, and populistic. Yep. One of the dudes in the Sylt video is a member of the CDU-CSU. Aw, shocking. Shocking seeing the center-right party become openly pro-Nazi. I would have never guessed that liberals have this sort of tendency. That certainly has never happened in Germany before. Please look at my message to the Chancellor. The Social Democrats, SPD, literally posted afterwards a Nazi slogan, Germany for Germans, but with a twist for those who defend our democracy and who stand for peace and cohesion. I remember a few years back, you told the European chatters to keep an eye out on how their countries will slowly become like the USA in regards to their shift right in politics. Yes, except those European chatters are probably no longer with us because they also shifted right, especially after the incredibly militant attitude that people had once Russia unjustifiably invaded Ukraine. I suspect that many of those centrist, center-right, or maybe liberal German chatters, or maybe liberal European chatters, became so invested in the NATO conversation that they could not recognize that their perspective was slowly but surely shifting. This, of course, is not new. Sweden has been doing this for quite a while. Many other European nations have been shifting rightward for quite a while, and unfortunately, plenty of those European EU chatters probably left, and now unironically talk about how like my kind of politics is genuinely way scarier than like the Nazi sentiment expressed by whatever version of like far right radicalism that occurs on in their own countries.
Spy chief has told the BBC that the far right Alternative for Deutschland party poses a risk to the roots of democracy. The AfD regularly rejects accusations of extremism, but the BBC has found clear links between significant party figures and extremists or even former neo-Nazi networks by investigating just one event held in the East German city of Cottbus.
The speaker was an MP called Matthias Helfferich, who once described himself as the friendly face of National Socialism, also known as Nazism.
Matthias Helfferich insists the years-old leaked messages were satire. His talk here in Cottbus was on remigration, a code word, say many, for mass deportations.
Remigration ist die politische Vision einer vertrauten Heimat.
In this video, he talks about remigrating millions to preserve the land of the Germans.
Und aktivistischen Vorfeld.
In the audience in Cottbus that night was Benedikt Kaiser, another influential figure. He works for an AfD MP, but over a decade ago, Mr. Kaiser was pictured at neo-Nazi demos. We've approached him for comment.
Became more and more right-wing.
This spy chief claims that extremism within the AFD poses a risk to democracy.
When I'm speaking about a German oak, a big, strong old tree, it can take a blizzard, it can take a storm. But once you have an enemy that goes for the roots, and that's exactly what's happening right now, going for the roots of our democracy, it's very dangerous because it goes to the vital parts of our democracy.
What is it about the 20s and 30s of centuries that fascism just loves to go full mask off? I mean, it's a cycle, right? It takes 100 years for this level of resentment to build up once again.
The AFD says it's being smeared by a biased establishment, and as the country builds towards regional and EU elections, this isn't a fringe movement, but one trying to go mainstream. Jessica Parker, BBC News in Brandenburg.
Let's speak to Assistant Professor of Political Science at Boise State University.
Where are Roaring 20s? Bro, what do you think the Roaring 20s meant for the average working class person? It's look around, dude. The Roaring 20s in the way that it's like mentioned in The Great Gatsby and the like was roaring for the elites. As it is currently, just wasn't exactly great for the average person.
University, Julia Van Dusky. Julia, welcome to you. You've written about the rise of the AFD in Germany, haven't you? How?
Yeah, mega yacht sales are looking better than ever. You know what I mean? Shit's popping. Entire industries specifically dedicated to serving the wealthiest individuals in society. Meanwhile, the average person can't purchase a house, as no meaningful way of creating permanent shelter for themselves.
Far-reaching are its links with the far right, would you say?
So the German government has been investigating the AFD for quite a while because it is known that many of its members do have links to the far right. So it is far-reaching.
Now the far right...
Yeah, we're literally doing space tourism and shit. Like, think about that. Likely through populism on TikTok, etc., young people are faster prone to become far-right. AFD's in second place for young people. No, I don't think it's populism from TikTok. I think it's economic instability and volatility. I am never going to look at like one singular social media platform. No, these are far larger issues. There are far larger systematic problems that are creating the exact same results. It's austerity. It's austerity. It's the horrifying material conditions, a lack of future prospects for the younger generation that's breaking their minds. And because of neoliberalism's power, specifically gutting and eviscerating any kind of leftist opposition, there isn't even like a genuine communist counter, nor even a trade unionist one, nor even a socialist one, as it existed in at least the earlier stages in the aftermath of the Industrial Revolution, where there was one. Volodymyr Zelensky said, why is the upper class supporting this then? Well, it's one should ask that same question about what the upper class was doing supporting it in the 20s, both in the United States of America and in Germany. Capital owners absolutely funded and facilitated fascism. Fascist plots were occurring both in America and also in Germany as well, as you know. And the reason for that was because fascism is seen as a way to instill order. It's a way to reinforce the hierarchies by very violent means in general. Capitalism decays inevitably due to the weight of its own contradictions. And then when in that decay, there's a lot of volatility, a lot of instability. Then there's also even the pesky alternatives to said instability. People that want to evolve from capitalism to something that is a little bit more just. And capital owners obviously benefit from the existing hierarchies. So what do? Well, they side with the fascists. They fund the fascists, because what do fascists do? They're not real socialists. They're not genuinely interested in class struggle. They're interested in stopping class struggle. Yes, yesterday a video went viral with upper class kids chanting xenophobic slurs. I know, that's how we started this conversation.
The AFD, rather, political party, is gaining in popularity, isn't it, in Germany? What would you put that down to?
So the AFD originally formed as a response to the Eurozone crisis. There are a lot of Germans who do not support the EU, and they don't support Germany's role in the EU. And so now there's a party that represents their interests. They're more popular in East Germany amongst older people who had been socialized under a completely different political system. They lived under communism and an authoritarian regime. Politically, they're a little bit different than West Germans, so it's not surprising that the AfD is a little bit more popular there.
And what do you think it means for the future democracy of Germany, or would that be alarmist to even go there?
What a phenomenally stupid liberal analysis of the situation. I wonder why East Germany would be more susceptible to right-wing populism like this. Oh, I'm sure it's because they grew up under communism. No, perhaps it has something to do with the fact that the material development of East Germany was stunted deliberately in comparison to West Germany. That was beefed up by both the Marshall Plan and American investment. That's it. The reasons as to why there is more reactionary sentiment in East Germany is because East Germany was left behind. This is also false. They're most popular among the population that grew up in the aftermath of the reunification, born around 85, 95.
Currently, I don't think the AfD is going anywhere. However, I don't think they're big
So capitalism brought wealth and communism brought poverty? Yes, that's what I'm saying.
enough currently to ever form a government in Germany. They're still quite small. And the other parties, the mainstream parties, are unlikely to form a government with them. So in the short term, they can make a lot of noise. They have a platform in parliament, but I don't think they're going to have a lot of influence over policy making.
Okay, Professor Julie Van Dusky, thank you very much for...
Only recently, Olaf Scholz was on the cover of Der Spiegel with a quote, "We must finally start to deport in a big fashion." I wonder how saying that shit became more mainstream. Yep. The West will do liberal shock therapy to former communist areas and then blame communism when that shock therapy plays its course. Yes. It's funny, the thing that apparently the girl we saw in the video shared a story where she wrote "best DJ in Sylt" from Palestine, and instead of the Palestine flag, she posted the flag of Kuwait. She was literally like, "Look at my foreign friend. The guy was just the DJ." Yeah. You should react to Best D-Mark's video on Weimar Germany. I have. I'm pretty sure I have. In your opinion, do you think fascism will rise and prevail without resistance since there's no USSR anymore? Do you think, for example, China would be a nation willing to rescue the West? I don't know. I think China is very self-interested, you know? Hold on one second. I have to also look at something here. I guess the USSR was also self-interested though, in many ways. Hold up. I'm waiting for my team to get in on Rust.